Welcome again to the Old Principal. I am the Old Principal, and we have another interesting lesson. Somewhere I read this. It must have been in the newspaper. But a friend of mine sent it, and I thought, that's pretty good. So let's take a look. This will be lesson number 203. The ice might be thin. The ice. OK, 这个上面的冰面 might be thin. So with that, we're just going to let Connie read the story. There's quite a few new words in here. It'll be interesting. So let's just listen as she reads.
Story 203. The ice might be thin. A full day of snowmobile racing took place on Saturday in Detroit Lakes, Minnesota. Participants came from many other states and from Canada too. Some of the semi-truck rigs had trailers containing snowmobiles, shops, equipment, gear, and racing clothes. Others had sleeping areas, though many of the racers stayed at the nearby Holiday Inn. During the night, several more racers arrived and parked their semi-trucks next to others that were lined up on the ice at the edge of the lake. Very early Saturday morning, the only person sleeping in a truck was awakened by a strange sound. He jumped out just in time to see the ice break up under the trailers, sending them into the lake. After a general warning had been given, several snowmobiles were rescued before the trailers sank out of sight. Rescue crews faced the dilemma of how they'd get the big rigs out of the water. They had been parked close to a steep bank, and the water was deep. Divers came to the site soon after the mishap and fished out gas cans and other things that would contaminate the lake. The big holes in the ice where the vehicles had been parked were freezing over quite rapidly. Soon the water that had filled the sunken trailers began to freeze, causing the trailers to gain weight by the ton. Traffic on the two-lane highway beside the lake was rerouted so that emergency vehicles could reach the scene. Several wrecking and rescue crews with road graders and cranes hauled 12 semis out of the lake by late Sunday afternoon. Meanwhile, the Saturday snowmobile races went on, even though the track came close to the big hole. Authorities believe the ice gave way because all 12 trucks were parked so close to each other. They fell into the lake together.
Welcome back. Here we go. A full day of snowmobile racing took place on Saturday in Detroit Lakes, Minnesota. Now, first of all, the way this is written tells you that it is actually originally from the newspaper. It just sounds like a newspaper article. A full day of snowmobile. First of all, what is a snowmobile? I should have had a picture. I was going to have a picture, but there wasn't any really good pictures of snowmobiles. Snowmobile is 摩托雪橇, 摩托雪橇. It's 雪橇, but they have a motor on it. It's like a snow version of a 摩托车, okay? Snowmobile racing, this is 比赛, okay? On Saturday, 星期六, at Detroit Lakes, Minnesota. So this is up where it is cold. Going on, participants, 凡是参加的 came from many other states and from Canada. So what we're talking about is a race. They're going to have races with these snowmobiles. And so it will be interesting. It's Saturday. People are going to be on the edges watching. And those participants, 那些选手到底是来自什么地方啊？来自 other states 其他的州，还有加拿大。So, I mean, we're talking about a very important race. Okay, going on. Some of the semi-truck rigs had trailers containing snowmobiles, shops, equipment, gear, and racing clothes. Now, at this point, I must explain, because some people have a hard time with some of these words. Semi-truck rigs. Now, first of all, if I just say rig, it might mean a semi-truck. So a semi-truck is really, just think 大卡车. Really what happens is, and maybe I should explain it this way, you have the front of the truck, okay, and then you have, it's almost like a 很大的这个货柜 on the back. The back part is actually a trailer, 是这个拖车的, okay, but it's big, very big truck, very big truck, okay, and we call them semi-trucks, or sometimes we just say semi, or we'll say just, if we know what we're talking about, we'll say big rig, okay. Now, they had trailers, of course. 我刚才不是说吗？有拖车呢，it's like a 很大的一个货柜车, okay? Okay, and what were inside of these big trucks? Snowmobiles, okay, 摩托雪橇, okay? Of course, this is what they're going to be racing. Shops, 修理部. So this is where they repair, okay? Equipment, okay, 他们的工具 tools, equipment, okay, and gear 一些其他的东西，还有他们的衣服，这个比赛的衣服。Why? Why would you need special clothes? Well, think of it this way. They're going to be racing on a lake. 他们是在一个湖的冰面比赛. Why? Because it's flat. Okay, it's very flat, so it's a good place for them to do their racing. Okay, so here are all these big trucks. All of the big trucks are right here. Going on. Others had sleeping areas. 有些这个车子也有 sleeping areas, so they could actually sleep in the trucks. Though many of the racers stayed at the nearby Holiday Inn. Holiday 假日酒店 Holiday Inn. 假日酒店 Holiday Inn. This 酒店, you can find them. You can find it in Beijing. You can find it all the big cities in the world. In Hong Kong, we have it, and of course in America. So, 这个附近的假日酒店. So, most of them, as we will find out, all of them except for one, stayed there. Go ahead. During the night, several more racers, okay, racers in this case would be 选手和他的车子等等 arrived, and they parked their semi-trucks, these 非常大的卡车, next to the others that were lined up on the ice at the edge of the lake. So, where were they? they were lined up on the ice. 他们在冰面排队. Okay, so you just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, just like this. Okay, on the ice at the edge of the lake. 在这个湖边. Now, it's on the ice, so it's not on the land. Okay, we got that. Very early Saturday morning, the only person sleeping in the truck was awakened by a strange sound. Okay, early Saturday morning, okay, 星期六早上很清早的时候, a person sleeping in the truck, the only person, everybody else was in the hotel, okay, the Holiday Inn. But he was the one person who was sleeping in a truck, was awakened. 什么吵醒他? 什么东西吵醒他? By a strange sound. By a strange sound. Going on. He jumped out just in time to see the ice break up. 他就跳出来，刚好跳出来，就看到这个冰面破裂 to break up. The ice is breaking up. Now remember, all of these trucks are parked side by side on the ice, which means they are actually on the water. Frozen water, of course. So it should be okay, but it wasn't okay. He jumped out just in time, 刚刚好可以看到 the ice breaking up underneath the trailers. So the trailers, these 拖车 and 卡车, okay, sending them down into the lake. Going on. After a general warning had been given, several snowmobiles were rescued before the trailers sank out of sight. So, they were lucky, in some sense of the word. A general warning, 有一个这个警告, general, that means for everyone. I'm sure that they were honking horns and 按喇叭等等. Whatever the case, several snowmobiles, 几个那些这个摩托雪橇被救出来 before the trailers, okay, these big 大卡车 and 这个拖车 sank 淹下去 way down in the water. Okay, now they got a problem. Rescue crews. Okay, 救援队 or it's a 救援队. Maybe that's the best way. Faced a dilemma. Okay, what is a dilemma? A dilemma is a 困境. But this is not your typical dilemma. This dilemma is a problem, a 问题, but it has two possible things or more. A dilemma, that means you have a choice between 2 or 3 different problems. 这个困境. So here's the dilemma. 他们面对一个 dilemma of how they'd get the big rigs out of the water. Now, the big rig, remember we saw that earlier, didn't we? we saw the word rig. What it is, it's this 大卡车. This is a shortened version, the big rig. Big rig. If you know what you're talking about, then people will know what a big rig is. The dilemma was, how were they going to get it out? There are many ways, but nobody could think of a good way to get these big trucks, 这些大卡车, how to get them up out of the water. Okay, going on. Apparently, they had been parked too close to the steep bank and the water was deep. 好像 they had parked too close to the steep bank. What is a steep bank? Of course, 这个岸边呢，岸边 is a bank, so 岸边, and if it's too steep, it's 很陡，这个斜度好高. So a steep bank, they parked too close to the bank. Okay, this was the problem. And the water was deep. So now, what's the problem? You have deep water, the trucks are down, all the way down in the water. Going on. Okay, divers came. What is a diver? 潜水专家，潜水. See, they have 氧气筒等等, and so they're going to go down there. They came to the site, okay, 到现场, okay, and soon after the mishap, 这个 mishap is 出事, okay, and so soon after the mishap and fished out. You know what fishing is? 钓鱼. If we say fished out, that means that you pull something out of the water. You pull something out of the water. That means that you fished something out of the water. If somebody is struggling in the water, if a person is in the water and you fish him out of the water, that means to get somebody out of the water. Obviously, fish itself is 鱼. Okay, but to fish out, it becomes a verb, 动词, to fish out, to get something out of the water. What did they fish out of the water? Gas cans. Okay, 燃料桶. Okay, 燃料桶, gas cans. And other things that would contaminate the lake. That's a good word. Not only are we talking about fishing things out, they said they took out the 燃料桶, the gas cans. Okay, so that's one thing. And anything else that would contaminate the lake. That means anything that would 污染这个湖里的水啊. Contaminate, 污染. Or we could say contaminate, or you can say pollute. I'm sure you're used to the word pollution. So we could say either way, contaminate or pollute the lake. Going on. The big holes in the ice where the vehicles had been parked were freezing over quite rapidly. So this is part of the dilemma, 这个困境. Okay, the big holes in the ice, 这冰面的那些大的洞啊 ，OK， where the vehicles had been parked， 他们停车的地方 ，of course the vehicles went down and the ice had broken up， 叫剥裂 ，OK，were freezing over quite rapidly， 他们相当快又开始结冰啊。So they were freezing over. If it's water, then it starts to get. If the water starts to get cold, then it freezes over. It freezes up, but we say freezes over means it becomes solid ice again. Go ahead. Soon the water that had filled the sunken trailers began to freeze. Uh-oh, now you got another problem. The water had filled the sunken trailers. 那些这个拖车好像货柜一样 had filled with water. 水就进入 right? The sunken trailers, the sunk means that they had sunk down to the ground, okay? And the water began to freeze inside, causing the trailers to gain weight by the ton. Okay? So, what's happening? It has caused the weight of the trailers to gain weight. To gain weight. Okay, 增加这个重量 okay, by the ton. Not by the pound, not by the ounce, not by the 公斤, by the ton. That means that a ton 是公吨很重 Now, they have a big problem because the trailers are getting heavier and heavier. It's not just water, but it's now ice, which obviously is frozen water. Let's go on. Okay, let's go on here. Traffic on the two-lane highway beside the lake had to be rerouted. Traffic, okay, 车辆在这个 two-lane highway. Two-lane highway. Okay, so is this 高速公路? Probably not. It's just one lane going this way and one lane going this way. It had to be rerouted. That means that the people had to go 绕一圈 to go a different direction, to move a different direction. Okay, why? Why was this so? Because they were rerouted so emergency vehicles could reach the scene. Emergency 紧急的这个车辆 you know, many of these big vehicles could reach the scene. 这个要到现场 because if you have people on the highways, then these emergency vehicles 车辆 they cannot get there. So they have to send the people out around in a, you know, we say circuitous route. 他们的路线要绕一圈 so that they can try to save the vehicles and so on. Going on. Okay, several wrecking and rescue crews, 那个救援队 wrecking and rescue crews 是一样的东西 with road graders 推土机 okay, and cranes 吊车 okay, all hauled 12 semis, 12 of these big 大客车 to haul them up out of the lake by late afternoon. Okay, Saturday afternoon. But interestingly enough, going on, meanwhile, the Saturday snowmobile races went on. 他们还是比赛，这个摩托学校比赛还是进行的，还是进行的。Okay, even though the track came close to the big hole, 那个大的洞, where all the problem was, the track came close, 他们的跑道是靠近 but not completely there. So they still continued the race. They still did as they had planned going on. The authorities believe the ice gave way. Okay, to give way means to break up, 这个破裂. Okay, because the 12 trucks were parked too close to each other. Okay, 他们停车都是停车太靠近，非常非常。这些大卡车 well, you can imagine a big car or a big truck. If it's just one, okay. But if it's many and they're all sitting there, then what happens? All of them together, 非常重. And as we see here, going on the last slide, they fell into the lake together. They were all together. They all fell into the lake together. So, the moral of the story is, don't park too many vehicles together on the ice. Okay, theoldprinciple@gmail.com. That's our email address. And our website is www.theoldprinciple.org. Hey, we've had a great time being with you, and we do hope that you will join us next time.